Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Sorry, I was just looking over at the YouTube page there, just to make sure that all was well. Right now, I have an ad playing, so let me know if you're seeing an ad. Excuse me. Um, so yes, let's start the way we're supposed to start. Hey there, friendlies. Welcome to the Bevies, Blades, and Bushcraft live stream, where we have bevies, we have blaze, and on occasion, we do actually speak about bushcraft. Tonight's reading is just a little bit from the story Embracing Orcas in the August-September issue of Canada's History magazine, formerly known as The Beaver. I guess I know why they changed the name of that magazine. Sorry, my youngest has been messing with this, and it's all, whatever. So before we get to the show, I just want to do the usual housekeeping, which is the part where I say, if you're watching us time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month or next year, thanks for your eyes. Thanks for the comments you put in the doobly-doo down below the video. And I hope that you are just loving life. Okay. If you love what's happening at any point tonight, then I invite you to drop me a smiley thumb. If you kind of hate what's going on at any point, then that's all right. The frowny thumb works just as well. And if you would like to take a more active role in keeping the lights on around here, then I invite you to check out the join button. Right click, open another tab. Once you do that, you will see the 2 membership tiers available to you for your hard-earned money, as well as what each tier gets you. Excuse me. So now, what's been going on in the world of the bushcraft and the YouTubes and all the other stuff? Well, the stories I have tonight are not necessarily bushcrafty. The first I just want to say is that Quebec is looking at abolishing the daylight savings time bounce back and forth. They've put a consultation online. The government has an online consultation. It's done in a very traditionally Quebec government way, by which I mean it's frustratingly obtuse. But I did fill out the questionnaire today. They ask if you think we should abandon the time switch, the bi-yearly time switch, and would you prefer to use summertime or winter time? Why is this important? It's important because, God, it's about time. It's about time, and I invite all of you who may feel the same way to pressure your damn legislative assemblies or whatever you have down in the States. Here in Quebec, we have a National Assembly. I think in BC, they have a provincial parliament. Those of you from BC will let me know if I'm right about that. Or is it Ontario who has a provincial parliament? Someone has MPPs. Most Canadian provinces have MLAs, and in Quebec we have MNAs. Tell them that you would really like to stop bouncing back and forth twice a year, if in fact that is your opinion. You do, funnily enough, still have power. And I would love it if we would just stop bouncing back and forth. The second story is that there's, I don't want to say it's a huge trend or anything. It's a small movement, but it's an important one, of people who are rebuilding after wildfires with are you guys hearing anything? Because I'm getting sound here. I just noticed something. Destiny's got no sound, but no one else is complaining, so I'm just going to keep going. So in parts of, like, I think it's mostly in the States, people are rebuilding after their houses get wiped out by wildfires by using like rammed earth or adobe and stuff like that, because it's not as fire prone. You still have to design with fireproofness in your, in your architecture. Like, you can't have a bunch of vents going out into the air for like an ember to get down into or anything. But a lot of these mud brick kind of technologies actually harden when a fire sweeps through because it acts as baking a brick. So there's a bunch of people working on this. Of course, there are the usual legislative stumbling blocks because there always are. But it's nice to see. It's a cool concept. Also, like thick mud brick or whatever walls kind of eliminates the need for air conditioning in a lot of areas. But anyways, it's just I came across this today and I was like, oh, I think this is really cool. And I've read like 90% of the article, so no judgment. Okay, we're all friends here. Look, as always, links for these stories are in the show notes below. And of course, it is not sponsored content. So, before we get to the reading, I just want to see who's kicking back with us here, who's hanging. My land, it tells me there are already 77 chats that I have to catch up with. So I'm going to scroll back to the tippy top. I hope everyone's having a good week so far, by the way. I'm definitely happy to be here. So I echo Mark Davidson's comment that he left at 7:46. So like just as I created this, created and scheduled this live stream. Mark Davidson, I believe, is actually a channel hero. Am I right? I cannot scroll that far back on. Oh, yeah. Yes, Mark Davidson is a channel hero. Canadian popping in as well. With yes, it was Mark's night to be first. Way to jump in there like an hour and 3/4 early. Or hold on a second. There you go. Tabernouche. Everything just sort of scrolled to the bottom. Okay. Yeah, David Evans in at number 3. David is also a channel hero and a channel mod. We got Grace Martin popping in. Nice to see you, Grace. Also a channel hero at the moment. And we got Christy, who is also a channel hero, saying hi. How's it going, Christy? I hope all is well with you and the mister. Just saying hi to everyone. So I'm just going to skip all the hellos unless I see a name that I haven't said hi to yet, like for instance Jim. I hope all is well. Jim, number 6. Serge popping in, Mr. 007. License to kill. License to be deadly. Yes, Serge should try. Should really aim for coming in 8th. Sorry, it's just like a bunch of people saying hi, so I'm just popping down. Where is Peanut Trucker asks Destiny? I think I saw his name, but I might have scrolled past it. Canadian has missed 2 lives, but he's made it tonight. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I mean, look, it's better busy than bored, right? I mean, if you can't... hold on. If Serge is Bond, I am not necessarily Moneypenny, okay? I'm not sure how to take that, but, you know, I'm too fat, first of all. Canadian's been helping a buddy. Did he say what he's doing? Oh, yeah, fixing up a cabin. That sounds like a really good way to spend your time. I like that. I support this. There we go. There's Chris. How's it going, Mr. Peanut Trucker? Where are you in the world tonight? Where are you in the States tonight? I'm scrolling down to see if he's set up. There is Hike with Mike. How's it going, Mike? I hope you're doing well. I hope the weather is treating you well down there in Florida. Just a lot of hellos. So, Russell says he always has to refresh the page to get the live stream working. How annoying! That is weird. That is bizarre. I always need to refresh the page to see how many thumbs up I have at the moment. Oh, I just refreshed the page and it went directly to adverts. It says 21 people watching and 10 thumbs ups. You're hurting my feelings, people. Is that to tell me that this is not the strongest start I've ever made? Hello. Everyone's saying hello. Hike with Mike survived the hurricanes. Luckily, no damage, but the rivers are rising. I can well imagine. So, like, I was going to ask, like, when you get your butt kicked by 2 hurricanes within 30 seconds, but I mean, no. When like a big hurricane sweeps through like that, for how long do the rivers stay high? Like, does it sort of swing on through, beat the crap out of everything, the rivers overflow, and then it sort of goes back to normal? Or does it take a while for everything to calm down a bit? Like, everywhere I have ever lived, we've had to worry about tornadoes, but never like the flood wall of a hurricane, or the whatever it's called, storm wall, the wall of, what was that? See, this is the comment that had me suddenly questioning everything. Everything. Hi, Shawnee. How you doing? Shawnee put up a video that I've now watched most of yesterday. Did you put that up yesterday? And it was really cool because I'd never actually heard Shawnee or really seen her face before, aside from like the little avatar. So now I know what Shawnee sounds like. She looks like that. Yeah, I like this. For the record, by the way, I'm not going to joke about that because I keep the volume off. I'm sorry, it's actually it's really hard to point in the right direction, but I keep the sound off on the YouTube so that I don't have myself like in echo. So I mean, it's a legit mistake. No shade from me. Peanut Trucker got rain on the first one, nothing on the second. Canadian is asking a political question, but it might not be such a bad one. Okay, so Jim said at like 9-ish, 9:08, 9:07, say all in an hour, still at work, stupid work. So yeah, see you in an hour. I hope work treats you well tonight. I mean, he can't hear me, but you know, whatevs. Russell could really go for some butterscotch ice cream. Do you have any? I haven't had butterscotch ice cream in a really long time. I used to love it. Or caramel. I think butterscotch is the stronger choice. Hey, I thought I turned off. Okay, you guys see this? You see all this like scrolly text here? I said last week that I was going to turn that off, and I thought I had, right? Because of the way the poll went. I thought we were going to go for a week without that and see if people preferred it that way. But I thought I'd turn that off. Sorry, guys. I can't do it now because I'm live. I'll turn it off for next week and we'll see. Sorry about that. Chris is going to be in your neck of the woods by Friday, so bear that in mind. Make no plans. Meet up. Have a drink. Have pizza. Take pictures. Destiny says Olivia Newton-John had an Adobe home. Did she? It's the kind of thing I've always been really interested in, like the whole rammed earth stuff. Like, I love the idea that you've got these big, thick walls that keep the inside of the house fairly cool. So you're not paying into air conditioning. You know what I'm about to say? Tea's a good drink. And here's the thing, though. In the article that I've linked down below, they're not showing like those weird hippy dippy earthship houses. They look like pretty standard houses. They just happen to have these honking great adobe walls, and that's kind of that's where I find it's kind of more interesting, maybe a little more exciting. I have no desire to live in a house that looks like a hobbit hole. Well, actually, a hobbit hole would be pretty cool under the dirt and everything. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I have no need or desire to live in a house that looks like it should be in like a Nevada artist's colony, right? If I can have the Adobe magic in a house that is fairly regular looking, I love that idea. Obviously, in these wildfire prone areas, you're talking about more like metal roofs or maybe some kind of stonework or clay shingle, right? You're not talking about tar shingles or anything like that. Sounds great. Sounds great, and I love that they don't look like they did in the 70s anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm. Shawnee says caramel dip and apple slices. It's interesting that you say that because we did apple um wedges in melted chocolate for dessert tonight. Well, I didn't because I didn't have time, but the kids did and the wife did. Shawnee's asking David what he had for supper. I would also like to know what he had for supper. Oh yeah. Yeah, Destiny, you're right. I had forgotten about that stuff. I haven't read into that as much as I have for just like rammed earth and Adobe and stuff like that. Okay, so Peanut Trucker is in St. Louis. Where I live, that would be St. Louis. Somebody tell me, is that a St. Louis or is that a St. Louis? Misery. Sorry, I know it's Missouri. Misery. Well, Destiny's clearly happy to see Shawnee's here. And she's happy to have found the volume button. Pam made a delicious chicken dish with carrots, broccoli, covered in a mushroom sauce. That sounds pretty good. I made tacos. Raspberry Rock. Wait, is it called supper again? It's always called supper. You guys in Ontario call it dinner, but I was always brought up calling it supper. Us and the Newfoundlanders. In the Newfoundlanders and come to know me. Shawnee got the laptop out tonight. Nice. I have this laptop. It's an old MacBook Pro, I think, with like it's an old one. And I got it for free. It was gifted to me, so there ain't no way I'm complaining. But like the shift key, it's old, right? So the shift key doesn't work on the left hand side, and it needs a new battery, like you guys wouldn't believe. But it's still really nice to have a laptop again, because when I went from my old laptop to this desktop machine, I gained many things, like 2 big ass monitors. It's a kick-ass video machine for like $1,000 less than doing the same thing on a laptop with an Apple or without an Apple on it, right? But the freedom to sit on my couch and look something up or do a little work at the kitchen table or whatever is invaluable. It is priceless. It is precious. Anyways, I'm glad you're on the laptop tonight. Whiskey Harbor. Good eye, folks. How are you doing, Whiskey? Nice to see you. How's the weather where you are tonight? Oh, excuse me. Destiny. I told you I'm not going to be Moneypenny. Russell would make a good villain, though. I mean, provided it's, moving right along. I'm just sort of scrolling down, Just see if anyone else has joined us. Oh, okay. So Mike says it takes about a week or two for the rivers to crest. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder why. Maybe that's just a function of the speed at which water travels over like a geographical area or something. My knowledge of fluid dynamics is terrible. Terrible. Shawnee says, yes. Hello. I'm glad you could hear my voice. And it's funny because we just ripped up our garden as well, Shawnee. I dug. Oh, yeah. In fact, you know, because I did that little short about it, how I dug down and at the bottom, I ran into the old asphalt of the old driveway. I was like, dong, what the heck? What is that? I thought it was like, I didn't know what it was. I had thought maybe there was like an asbestos bottom to the garden or something. I was like, no, please. We've been eating here. So I was kind of relieved when I found out that it was just the old asphalt from the original driveway. Yeah. Destiny has been doing the God's work. Russell's villain names: Dr. Drool, Dr. Mayo, Dr. Heleno. Oh, okay. I clicked that one by accident. Oh, yikes. Golden shower mayo. Wait, somebody's saying something about a boat? Oh, Russell says, I'd like a boat. I would love a boat. I would love a 30-foot sailboat. French built. Nobody makes them like the French. Like a Beneteau. Probably. But I'm never going to have a boat. I will have a canoe. That's a boat. I will have a canoe. You guys want to hear something really frustrating? Let me finish this. And it's not bushcraft related. So, and it's kind of boring if you're not me. Hold on, though. Chris says, Mike, hike with Mike, I subscribed to you now. I was trying to find you after the hurricane went through to message you and couldn't find it. You must have been like, oh my God, he's been washed out to sea and his channel's been washed away with him. Oh, you need the chicken for the ladybug. Are they those orange, like the Asian ones that stink and bite? Because that's what we're covered. We're not covered. We have a crap ton of those around, and I'm just like, go away, because I like ladybirds, but those things bug me. Oh, I think Kristen might be asking the same thing. Yuck. Dr. Mayo Finger. Yikes. Oh no, you work through Christmas? My office is closed between Christmas and New Year, so I will not be working Christmas. Must suck to work through Christmas. I mean, you got a wife. That stinks. I mean, I guess that by this point, you guys have worked out the mojo in some way, or that not the mojo, the system, but still, yeah. Russell says he likes that one. I think he's talking about the Dr. Mayo finger. Yes, I'm connecting the dots here. Hike with Mike says, I think YouTube changed my channel name to Hike with Mike 5673 for some reason. That might, Mike. Sorry, I'm just getting more comfy here. That might be related to they changed the whole username thing at one point, and you had to enter your name, like the name you wanted. Maybe you didn't do that. Maybe. Canadians gonna be on a New Year's cruise. What's with everybody taking? Hey, look who's here, Honeybee. How you doing, honeybee? That's with everybody taking cruises all the time. Like you guys got money. All right. So you know what? Oh, Grace says St. Louis. You pronounce the S. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Did anyone else see lose sound? No? I hope. I'm just checking. Ooh, you made fish tacos. Nice. Oh. Shawnee? You're being a brat. Oh. It's just okay. It just did that thing it did last time where it just copied all the first comments again. But Destiny agrees. Enough with the time changes. Absolutely. Yeah, it went right back to I could use some butterscotch ice cream. That is so frustrating. Let me just drop right to the bottom. This means I'm going to miss somebody who's joined late. Hold on. Hold on. Like what Mike says, better to have a friend with a boat, then you can have the boat, same with a pool and a pickup truck. Yes, I agree. I sail on someone else's boat, or I crew on someone else's boat. Well, I used to. So I got all the magic of it and none of the financial hardship. Peanut Trucker says, if one of us wins the lottery, you'll have a big boat, Jess. Yes, a Beneteau. It doesn't even have to be brand new. In fact, I kind of think that they're better, like 70s vintage kind of thing. A lot more work, though. When Hike with Mike said, when I worked for the sheriff department, I worked night shift all the holidays. Like when you've got a family, you can't do that, you know? Or I mean, you guess you can, but David always saw himself more like Maxwell Smart, Agent 86, talking to a shoe. Peanut Trucker says, yes, I take a week off for Thanksgiving, work through Christmas, then take a week off for New Year's in Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, that works for you because your Thanksgiving is late. You guys down there, you're a little late on the Thanksgiving. Canadian sent me a video. Oops, click. Sent me a video on Discord of the Bear's Den cabin. I will take a look at it in a minute. Hey, Homiomi's here. Oops, I just missed it. Homiomi, and so this makes 3 of us who had tacos for supper. Homiomi, was it Christy and me? Destiny says I can be the British Prime Minister. Crumbs. I don't want to. No way. That means I have to live over there. Post-Brexit, I do not want to live in the UK. So tell you what, let's just do the reading because it's going to be really short. And what I'm going to talk about is not actually the point of the article. Excuse me. Man, my sinuses. Why? Let's say why. So it's from the story Embracing Orcas. Okay. This is from the August-September issue of Canada's History magazine, the magazine that used to be called The Beaver. In fact, it says right on it, established 1920 as the Beaver. In 1920, Beaver probably did not mean the thing that is the reason they changed the name of the magazine. So, the reading. Sam Burek, a 38-year-old Vancouver sculptor, had idled away almost 2 months at the base of a sandstone cliff on Saturna Island, off the coast of southern British Columbia, before he finally spotted a pod of about a dozen orcas on July 16th, 1964. We're getting adverts, right? I am going to wait until the advert is over, and then I will start again. Okay. Advert is over. I hope everyone has the advert over. So I'm going to start that again, because I don't know who heard what. Sam Burek, a 38-year-old Vancouver sculptor, had idled away almost 2 months at the base of a sandstone cliff on Saturna Island off the coast of southern British Columbia before he finally spotted a pod of about a dozen orcas on July 16th, 1964. Burek had been recruited by Murray Newman, the director of the Vancouver Aquarium, for a macabre commission to kill a passing orca and use its corpse as a model to create a life-size sculpture of the animal. So this is the story of the juvenile orca that became known as Maldal. Was harpooned, brought into the dry dock in Vancouver, and through this sort of fairly traumatic event, sort of created the image of orcas that we have today as like being like we actually care about them now, whereas they were more alien before this. This orca was, in Vancouver and people could see it. And they wanted this life-size sculpture. They wanted one of an orca and one of a shark of some sort, one of the big shark, the basking shark. They wanted to hang them in the entrance, the foyer of the New Vancouver Aquarium. It was just getting a total redo, like a glow up, like $800,000 or something in 1964. Okay. But they didn't have an actual tank for these animals, so they wanted these life-size sculptures to hang there. It's a well-known story in certain circles, but the reason I wanted to talk about it is because could you imagine these days handing a Vancouver sculptor the task of killing a whale and using its corpse to create a sculpture from? Like, the philosophy behind that commission is so, like, we don't think that way anymore, right? Because these days we understand, look, whales are endangered. Almost all of them are endangered. You don't go popping off a whale just to use his body to mold a freaking sculpture from. I find it fascinating because, look, there are people out there who would find that very reasonable. There's got to be at least 2 orcas out there, kind of thing. But it's endlessly fascinating to me because it's like sort of the sunset of the same philosophy that had, like the dodo, like somebody shot the last dodo knowing what they were doing, and created they stuffed it kind of thing. It's like, this is the last one. Instead of, this is the last one, let's, protect it. Like these days, if you have the last of a species of something, it ends up in one of the biggest zoos on the planet. And you do everything you can to keep this thing going. And so, like, just this idea that, like, we want a sculpture kill a whale. It's like, oh my God. And the piece is good. It's a good magazine. I mean, it ain't what the kids are going to be reading. I mean, this thing has a huge feature on like 10 iconic lighthouses of Canada, kind of thing. It's like, I would love to live in a lighthouse, though. Maybe not all the time, but sometimes I really would love to live there on the coast. The crash of the waves around me, keeping a light going in the dark as a beacon of hope for lost sailors. There's poetry in that life. So too bad the vast majority of our lighthouses are automated now. But anyways, whatever. Anyways, I just wanted to, and another thing is, like, orcas are one of my, like, the 3-animal pinnacle of my favorite animals. In as much as you can really have favorite animals. Like when I say these are my top 3 favorite animals, it's always got like inverted commas, right? Because I don't think that we need to be like, animals don't need a caste system. It's just, I have animals that I really I love to look at and are sort of iconic for me in certain ways. So I sort of call them favorite animals. And the orcas is definitely one of my top 3 in that context, for sure. But like just gonna be the optimist prime minister. You know my generation well. But do any of you guys hike with Mike, who's a teacher now, so he gets the holidays off. You also get some of the summer off. Hold on. Peanut Trucker says that the wife is usually in the truck with you during Christmas, and our tradition is Chinese food on Christmas Day because it's the only thing open. Yes, in Montreal, Chinese food is always open as well on Christmas. My fiddle player, he's Jewish, and when he lived here, he had family here. He called Christmas Day Jews' Night Out because the entire Jewish community would like go to the cinema and go for Chinese food. So yeah, it's funny, but yeah. Hold on. Russell says that I should be Brain Dad's minion. Okay. Minion bushcraft. But so like, what do you guys like? Do you guys have like I don't want to say spirit animal because that's not what I'm talking about, but do you guys have sort of animals that you consider to be your favorites, or that, because to me, like the orca, it reminds me of like my old stomping grounds in British Columbia, right? And it brings with it, the image of the orca brings with it a certain scent, a certain feeling of being on the coast, or even like at the Burrard Inlet, rainy-ish day. Summers are pretty sunny in Vancouver, though. It can get hot, but it doesn't get sticky hot. And like animals that remind me of that, I feel an affinity towards, so like orcas, otters, harbor seals. David likes dogs. Classic choice. I remember looking down at a harbor seal that was swimming past just off of Stanley Park like 25, 30 years ago, actually longer than that. And like just like this much of him is above the water, and he's swimming past. He just sort of like looks up at me like this, like just, and then keeps on going. And a lot like your opinion of an animal changes if it does something. Kind of universal. I was going to say kind of human, but I mean kind of universal. Certain things, like I was once looking at a bunch of apes at I don't remember which zoo, but like there was or gorillas. I don't know. There was a silverback in the back, and there was this one that wasn't, a younger male, sort of sitting in a tree, and he was sort of like he was leaning on an elbow on his knee in this tree, right, and looking around. And so like this arm was on his knee, and he's looking around, and he just sort of like this, and then went back. Like it's the kind of thing that you would see a human do, right? You're sitting there and you just like, and then you go back to doing stuff. And silly little things like that can really change your opinion on animals. And so there's this like just this silly little moment with a harbor seal. It's swimming on by, it just sort of glances up at me and continues on its way, because it means it was aware of me. We sort of look at bees and birds and I don't know, raccoons, whatever, and we tend to see them as not really being fully aware of their environment, but they absolutely are. They really are. They're hooked right in. Or usually. We did catch another squirrel with our pool this week. It's like, how are you guys doing this? How are you guys deep sixing yourself in my pool? Sash likes cats. I also love cats. Christy thinks that certain sloths are cute. Yeah, that's fair. Whoops, hold on. Oh no. David says that cats like bath mats with legs. I don't know if I agree with that, but Honeybee has a great affinity for foxes, field mice, and honeybees. I didn't know about that. Last one is surprising. Yeah, but those bath mats are nature's most efficient hunters. That's why when I had cats, they didn't go outside. Red panda is my favorite animal. That is not restaurant. I do like a red panda. They're very cute. Jay Garcia is popping in, saying good evening to beloved. I guess he loves us all. We love you too, Jay Garcia. Good evening. Hold on. Honey badgers. I still use the term honey badger as like it's like a shortcut to me saying I do not care. Honey badger, he don't give a shit. Honey badgers don't give a yes, exactly. Yeah. I love how you say the word honey badger and everyone of a certain generation was like, ew, honey badger don't give a shit. He don't care. We've all seen the same video. But yeah, so I just thought that was an interesting, just a piece of the story too. I don't want to read you guys an entire story. I mean, spend 20 minutes reading to class. It's like what? But there's some cool pictures of lighthouses in there though. Hold on. Russell, of course. My spirit animal is the velociraptor. Wish they'd make a comeback. Oh, I get it. Jay Garcia has been binge watching Wrangler Star, hence the beloved. I had forgotten about that. I haven't watched him a lot lately. I feel that he sort of took a turn to the political, and he recently sort of said something about his content being satire or something. I'm not entirely sure, but if he goes back to, showing cool tools and, sharpening axes and stuff, I would be more than happy about that because that's his content when it came to stuff like that was second to none because he has this real no nonsense approach to, keeping tools sharp, right? Like I do the sort of the rooster method of keeping my axes nice and sharp, trying to keep everything as pristine as possible. Wrangler Star pounds a little divot into the cheek of the axe, uses that to sort of anchor a file to, and just goes sweep, 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 sweep. Right. I love his whole philosophy. These are tools. He was talking about something sitting at one of his workbenches at one point. He had a screw and just went, you want to put your screw in and leave it slightly proud. And he just took a screw and into the top of his workbench and said, about that much. Right. He's a guy who fundamentally uses his tools. And I appreciate that. I respect that because it means that nothing's getting kid gloves. Hold on a second. This says they are now using the Fluent Pet buttons on zoo animals. The buttons that are used to communicate with dogs. I don't know what these are, but does it need to breathe? I do not know. Hold on. Al's not here, right? Because I still have some of that King Edward King. Stupid. I knew it wasn't King George V. If not, oof. Oh no. Okay. So this is an Aaron port cask finish, single malt Scotch. It's delicious. Aaron is one of my top Scotch distilleries. They're very well priced for what they are, especially because they recently, like within the past 5 years, did this rebranding. It's probably my favorite rebranding of a Scotch. You got to pay for that, right? It's big money, but I mean, and the prices have stayed reasonable. I'm not generally a massive fan of wine finished whiskeys. I find that, and this might be psychosomatic. I always find that there's an element of sort of wine that's been open since yesterday, but this is a delicious whiskey. It does not need to air to breathe, but I'm gonna let it breathe for the next 10 minutes anyway. Oh, that's tempting. Anyways, I won't bottle it down tonight, but I'm gonna have to bottle it down pretty soon. I think I have to do my second review of it, which is why I don't want to finish it off too soon. I thought pro-ho was cringe at first, and now it's grown on me. It's my mission to become a pro-ho. That's a professional. Oh, what the hell is it? Man, I haven't watched them in a long time. Professional homeowner. Do I have that right, Jay? Is it professional homeowner? I don't know. Am I right about that? It's pro. I don't remember what pro-ho is. Borealis. It's time to open the bomb doors. I shall make that my name. Borealis. Borealis used to be the name of one of the bands that played. I say played because they're gone now. Played my my circuit here in town, the Irish pubs. I'm misremembering that. It was Aurealis. So I can't use Borealis. If I get a big boat, I'm going to call it Borealis. Yes, professional homeowner. Absolutely. Yeah, I had forgotten. Man, I haven't watched him in a long time because dirt bikes, politics, and guns. YouTube is full of that stuff. YouTube is not full of really good homesteading and tool knowledge. David. Borealis has an aura about him. I love it. Jay says that would make Russell a proco. Yes. I love it. Let's call Russell the proco from now on. It's a couple of zingers in a row there, you guys. The reason why I'm supposed to not have this text showing up is because I had asked if you guys like this size better, and it ended up in this conversation where some of you guys are watching on phones and whatever. And so I did a poll, and I was not supposed to, like, it very narrowly went to let's not have that. So I was gonna not have it tonight, just sort of as a test. But what I love about it, and I think I mentioned this, is that it shows me who's a channel member and who's a channel mod, the way it doesn't show up in the side chat on the app I'm using. It does show up in the side chat over on the YouTube page, but you know. Oh. Jay's a professional yard owner at this point. Do you have a little plot of land? Are you going to build on it? Is that what you're saying? You got a speck of land and you're going to put a cabin or something on it? I'm going to take this watch off. It took me years to be able to wear a watch. Still have to take it off sometimes. So you want to hear something frustrating? As soon as I said that, it just went gone. Oh well, never mind. Russell says, Borealis, bring me a stick of hardwood. Ha ha ha. To camera, he loves it when I do that. You guys. Use guys. I'm gonna drink some more tea. 21:53. 8 minutes to whiskey time. Russell, are you drinking a beverage tonight? Who's drinking a beverage with me tonight? Who's got some booze on the go, or a little beer happening, or a little herbal tea? Speaking of herbal tea, what the hell ever happened to Lipstick Lodge? Where is she? I haven't seen her in a minute. Jay says, my yard is a 10 by 20 concrete pad. City of life. Hold on a second. Excuse me. 10 by 20 is not that big, but you could work with it. 10 by 20 concrete pad. And are you going to build on that? Like, I'm trying to imagine where you would have a 10 by 20 concrete pad. So, like, are you, I guess, have you started build? Like, is that the foundation for where you're building? Is that what's going on there? Russell is drinking a beverage. I even put it in the freezer earlier. That's a pro move right there. All right. Honeybee. Whoops. Oh, no, everything just jumped. Honeybee is having cranberry grapefruit vodka soda. I support this. 8 Acres says, Proco. Praseodymium, oxygen, carbon, oxygen. What chemical is that? Nobody knows. It's a mystery. Bloody Mary this morning. Hey, Charles and Annie, how's it going? How are things down in the Philippines on this, well, for you, morning? You're finished that house by now, right? Like, I think last time we spoke, you were coming down the home stretch completely. Yeah. Serge slams us with some nerdism. Serge is a nuclear. Is a nuclear weapon ready? Do you need more sardinium salt? Use guys. It's weird because I'm drinking tea and caffeinated, but I'm still bushed. I gig this weekend, so when I'm gigging, I'm usually a wreck until Wednesday. And it was some late stuff. I was Friday night, I was gigging. The missus, she went to see Cyndi Lauper, which I would have rather do than gig. Although it was a good gig. I'm not saying that, I don't like the gigging. It's just I'm never gonna get to see Cyndi Lauper. And then her and her sister came to the pub afterwards to watch us play, and she hasn't seen us play in God knows how long. Charles says, we are wet. It's been raining 4 days. House is completed. Just more landscaping. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I just remembered that Canadian sent a picture, a video of the cabin. Welcome to the bear den. Thank you for a little tour quickly. I love the wagon wheel. That's got a certain. Oh, and the milk jugs, milk things. Oh, I get it. Okay. Nice fire pit. Welcome to the bear den. Love it. Where were we? Russell would love to see Cyndi Lauper. Always thought she had a great voice. And like, she's 71 and she still really, really goes, Now I need a wagon wheel to go with the snowshoes I haven't hung. Yeah. But yeah, so like gigging really, man, it puts me down. It puts me out for the count. Charles says, Forgot my wife wants to close in the terrace with glass now. We never really finished. Okay. Why glass? I think that you're in a fairly sunny environment, aren't you? Wouldn't that like bake in the heat of summer? Like, wouldn't you rather something that's just screened in? My wife's aunt and uncle used to have a solarium that was all glass. Forget about it. Hot day in the summer, never mind. Nobody's sitting in there. No way. 21:58. 2 minutes to whiskey. Have another tea while I'm waiting. Serge wants a screen area. Yeah, me too. I mean, I have a solarium. It's very nice. But I would love a wraparound, screened-in wraparound porch. For that, I would need a different house. But hey, I'm just dreaming in Technicolor. We have some massively expensive stuff that needs to be done with this house. We need to replace the vast majority of the windows need to be replaced. We definitely, I've mentioned this before, but we definitely need to re-shingle the roof. I gotta get this crack in my foundation looked at. We want to just have this whole basement gutted and redone, you know. Something slightly larger than Russell's screening job. I get it. Yeah. Hold on. Are you playing with your band this Friday during Halloween Books Fest? No, because we played last weekend. Honey, jeez, everything keeps bouncing. Your little whiskey chant was good luck. You just got my chess opponent to resign on the spot. I'll need that on a soundboard. Okay, good to know. I'm trying to figure out where the hell I am here. The glass is very tinted. The glass doors will open up with screens. She wants to let the new puppies will stay out there at night. Oh, I get it. Okay. All right. Destiny went to pour a drink and missed that Charles and Annie joined the 10 o'clock. Slanja. Definitely a port wine finish on that. With the sort of the dark fruit of port. Butterscotch. Because I don't think it's completely aged in port. I think it's just finished. I should check that. But there's definitely a syrupy sweetness to it. Very nice. Very, very nice. Sort of a malt thing happening sort of at the center. And oak. It is what it says on the tin. I did almost put it down the wrong pipe. That would have been embarrassing. Russell missed the salad comment, but that's perfect for the script. No, sir. Sardinium on the salad, uranium on the rocket. We won't mix it up this time. That's a killer line. Finally purchased a small SUV a few months ago. Wife is happy not to be riding a motorcycle now. Nice. What'd you get? Oh, I have an advert. Where was that? There it is. Is Aaron a single malt? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Aaron single malt Scotch whiskey. Non-chill filtered, natural color, which is what I like, and it's above 45% ABV. European size of 700 mil. So it says, yes, Russell, I watched the Glam review lacking the time to properly build a bridge over flooded areas of your entrance to your cabin. Yeah, I think if Sept was there, you'd probably get something built pretty well. It's very nice, and I think when I bought it, it was just under $100. It's sort of probably just over that now, but hold on. I'm just looking it up. Because I believe when I bought it, it was like 98 Canadian. Well, Quebec dollars, right? Because we spend a lot of money here. Except that we don't spend what the market will bear here. You know, like in the States, a lot of liquor stores will charge like $400 for, a Pappy Van Winkle 10-year or something. In Quebec, you will only ever pay MSRP, but finding stuff is the problem. Where's my damn SAQ app? I want to get the price for you. Forget it. I give up. Yes, you got notes. You got to pay attention, Russell. You got to be on the ball, mister. I did give notes, okay? I did. How's that firewood coming, Russell? Solid as a rock. I don't know where that came from. Uh-oh. He's regressing to year 1 and 2. Oh, no. I love how Russell's videos are in, or at least were at one point in seasons. Here's episode 1.1. Jay is asking if I think Apple put InReach out of business with the new iOS 18 update. I don't know if I don't think so. I feel that let me make sure. InReach, we're talking about the satellite comms company, right? Am I right about that? Before I go embarrassing myself, Jay, I'm right. We're talking about the satellite communications, right? Satellite phones. If I'm right about that, I kind of don't think so. Because there's gonna be a loophole. Like maybe the Apple, because I have satellite comms on this phone for emergencies. It was free for the first 3 months I had the phone, but now I have to pay for it, right? And I don't. Oh, it's so tough to say because Apple does put a lot of companies out of business by either creating tech that does the same thing or just buying them. But I just I don't want to go to the mats for that comment, but I feel that if the iPhone was like 60% of the market, InReach would be in trouble. But there are two things that I know. Yes, it's Garmin, right? Yes, I had forgotten that. Thanks for reminding me. Two things. Garmin is a very well placed brand and company, right? There's a lot of people using Garmin stuff, even if they have an iPhone. Second, nobody cares about the phone an iPhone user uses more than an Android user does, right? The world is full of people who no matter what, will not buy a phone with an Apple on it. And this company does not control the market. Um, and the reasons why people will absolutely never buy a phone with an Apple on it has nothing to do with how good the phone is or not. These are not, by the way, the best phones out there. Okay. Um, Samsung has worked hard to bring some very cool um, features to the market. Samsung are the dirtiest dogs of the phone business, though, because they make it even harder to fix a phone than Apple does. Um, they have, and they didn't used to. It used to be very easy to get into a Samsung and fix it up. Now there's so much stuff glued together in a Samsung that it makes these guys look like lightweights. But it's not about having the best phone or the best camera. It's about being in the ecosystem and copy from your phone, paste on your computer and stuff like that. You can probably do that with a lot of PCs, solutions too. But the native integration is a selling point. The intuitiveness of the OS has yet to be beaten by something on the Android. So this is turning into a phone review, and I don't remember why. InReach. I don't think InReach is necessarily in trouble. Because no, don't emergency. I'm looking for the satellite phone feature on this phone, but I wasn't really expecting that question, so I'm like, doody do. Yeah, I'm not even finding it. And I think that if I can't even find the feature on this phone, then InReach is probably not in any trouble. Hold on. Hold on. The new update allows you to even send text messages now. I knew that they were going to expand the satellite phone, but it's still for emergencies, right? Well, granted, they almost always are, unless you're sailing in the middle of the ocean. So I mean, it's the same sort of thing. I mean, I'm talking about I have a very basic knowledge of InReach, right? I'm not in any way an expert. Um, but hold on. What year did Apple stock go under $2? I have no idea, but it was probably like 94 or 91 or something. Or maybe a little later, maybe right before Steve Jobs came back and like eliminated most of the Apple models. Charles says, I have a Samsung. When I moved here, I discovered a lot more phones are in this world than I never saw in the US. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're in a place like Asia. And they have some phones that make everything we make here make everything we make here. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we know of here look absolutely stupid. Honeybee, won't buy Apple products for price and compatibility. Right, because you don't have a Mac. So the compatibility is not great. Although I do know people who have Windows on their desktops and Apple phones. Won't buy Samsung for right to repair issues. You're a Moto guy. Wow. There are still Moto guys around, and flip phones are back too. So maybe that's not as weird as I thought. Hey, Jim is outie. He's heading home. Safe drive. How long is the drive tonight, Jim? David says, Jim, go straight home. Charles is asking Russell how much Starlink is there. Here they're offering for $45 US a month. That's the thing. Like if I had an off-grid cabin like Russell has, let's change the thinking on that. When I have an off-grid cabin like Russell has, I don't know what to do for uploading videos and stuff. I have I have an aversion to spending any money on anything that benefits Elon Musk. I also hate how he just throws his satellites into space in a non-collaborative way, in terms of he ignores legalities, and he ignores what the astronomers are begging him to do. But I don't know, like, what else I would do, because I upload it in 4K, right? So for me, giving up, a wired internet connection is tough. What do I go with if I don't want to spend money on that dipshit's, um, behalf? Um, Jay says the satellite feature is only available when there's no cell service. You can text message for non-emergency situations. Yes, I get that, but like, how do I see it? Like, I should be able to just sort of see it somewhere. You asked a question I was not prepared for. Otherwise, I would have like at least looked it up before the call. It's got to be in settings, right? Like, is it in mobile service? Is it mobile service? Mobile data, primary. My mobile service control panel is all messed up because I used an eSIM when I was in Mexico on doing gigs in Mexico. I'll look it up. But yeah, I understand that it's only for emergency situations for sure. Like when the cell service is not working. But I figured I would at least be able to see the settings. Jess, have you designed your cabin yet? I have sketched a cabin numerous times over years and years and years. I haven't used like SketchUp or whatever you use, because I haven't um I just haven't put the time into mastering it or even learning it really. David is asking what I've actually wanted to do. Still have ExploreNet, and Russell says nope. Dropped in like second period French. I will tell you something. If you live here, you cannot drop second period French. Yeah, so I can text as many times as I want for no cost. But like, why would I text using the satellite function if I can still, like, if I still have service? Um, Russell emailed their entire executive team about some bullshit and they blew me off. Good to know. And you think that they're circling the drain now that Starlink is live? I think Starlink is a bigger disruptor than having the satellite phone functionality on my iPhone is. I think that Starlink really it moves the needle in a much bigger way. Sal says, Jess, move out to the country and have the Quebec government pay for the fiber optic cable like I did. Yep. Okay, I'll do that. I absolutely will. Russell, okay, he's talking about his Explorer. I emailed them 4 years ago and they responded with, let's put you in touch with our VIP manager, because I mentioned my YouTube channel. Now I think they've given up. Love it. Settings, apps, messages. Settings, apps, messages. Let me go down to messages, because I'm sure you guys are loving watching me do this instead of talk to you peeps. Messages, satellite connection demo. Where's my damn satellite connection demo? Down at the bottom. I will check that out later. And I will get back to you next week, telling you what I think about it. Does that sound fair? Russell says, "Let's be honest. ExploreNet is the worst company name ever. It does. That's a 1996 kind of company name, 91 even for sure, for sure. Not 91, but like mid 90s, right before the bubble kind of thing. You know, when like internet companies all had net or web in their names." Russell says, "Isn't it fun when you bring up the settings apps on your phone? You're staring at several hundred apps that are running. How many of those do you actually need?" And I'm sure we'd all love to see the customer experience feedback app running. The thing is, there are settings on this phone for apps that I think I've taken off my phone. You know, David is, when did iOS 18 come out? My phone says upgrade to iOS 17.7. 18 came out, I don't know, halfway through the month. But I think it might be either it's a like a beta release, or maybe, I don't know what phone you've got, David, but your phone might be too old to run it. It would have to be a really old phone for that, and I don't think your phone's that old. Oh yeah, the customer experience feedback app has access to your microphone. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Here's the thing, like, squirrels. Did I say something that made you say maybe squirrels? I'm lost. So lost. I can't believe that 23 people are watching me talk about this crap. I think we need another cabin night where we look at cabins someday in the future. I don't have time to set that up. So what was that? Jay, it works great when out of cell service and you can now communicate with the world. Oh, there it is. Works great when out of cell service and you can now communicate with the world without the need for the satellite phones or a Garmin InReach. Less to carry and no additional fees or hardware. Yeah, less to carry is key, I think, especially but like, how does the fee structure work? Because don't you have to, there's no monthly fee? Like, because it used to be when I bought this phone and it had iOS 17 or 16 or whatever it was, there was satellite phone, there was satellite phone functionality for if you're out of cell service and you're in an emergency, and I got 3 months free, and then it was like a monthly charge. How does it work now? Is it still like that, or is it different now? Because I just got to go get lost in the woods so I can test it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look at that. Off-grid recon in the house. How you doing? How's the weather where you are? Sorry you're late. That's okay. I mean, you're not here at like 10:55. You know, you're not here after 11. So it's fine with me. It's just nice to see your name popping up. Okay, it's free for the next 2 years. Yeah, okay. So it's the same sort of thing, but it's 2 years is actually a lot better than 3 months was, for sure. Charles and Annie, they're looking for property in Alaska for the past few minutes. She will freeze. What? You guys just finished a cabin. Are you looking for like a little summer place? Oh, are you looking to go north for the hot part of the year and south for the cold part of the year? Is that what's going on? Is that what's going on? Yeah, Russell's asking me the exact same thing I was on. Oh, this isn't the shirt I wanted to wear for tonight. I was gonna wear the pea soup shirt. Oh well. Okay, second home bucket list. Yeah, I have anything in the north as a bucket list item for me too, like spending a week up there in maybe June or August, like when it starts to get cold, but not North Pole cold, you know. David says tells Charles to get Destiny to help you. She's looked at tons of property. I haven't looked at property. I can't let myself think that way. I have some expensive crap to go through over the next little while, and it's all like health related. You're in Canada. It doesn't cost anything. Certain things do. Certain things really do. And it just, I have a hard time seeing past stuff like that to bigger purchases, I guess, even though they don't even come from the same account, if you know what I'm saying. Like, you don't buy a house from the same account that you pay for like an ADHD test or a root canal from, right? Even if it is the same bank account, technically, it actually wouldn't be. Scrap what I was about to say, but like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, the two can exist in the same universe. You know, oh, $1,500 for a root canal, and you're buying a car at the same time. I mean, they can exist, but I have a hard time squaring that. Like, to me, a big expense on the medical side sort of blocks everything for that year, kind of thing. Though I just got fitted for stage earbuds because I've wrecked my hearing over the past 21 years. Longer than that, actually. I mean, I've been playing bass for 35 years, but like really solid regularity for about 21 years now with my band. And I have probably spent hundreds of dollars on, musician earplugs and all this stuff that just don't work. So I finally bit the bullet and went and got fitted for stage earplugs. And so the way they work is they use a filter. You've got a choice between 9 decibels Y, 15, and 25. So I'm going to try the 15 and see if that helps. Excuse me. Anyways, that was just related to something else that I went and got my hearing tested yesterday morning. Hold on. Yeah, maybe also check in with Sean in Alaska because he did exactly that for sure. Charles has not mentioned this to Sean yet. Where is Sean in Alaska? He has not posted a new video in the past. No, he's in California right now, if I remember correctly. Christy said something. Sept went hunting on the girlfriend's grandfather's land at Borders Crown Land. I think she'd like to build a small hunting cabin there. I am dying to find access to some Crown land. I'm having a terrible time. Just spend an afternoon, maybe an overnighter into the next morning. Small campfire. Not even building a semi-permanent shelter, right? Just pitch a tent for an afternoon or an overnight. Dying to do it. So the reasons are snow seasons, seafood, more remote, which I love, less populated, which I also love. I also like the seasons too. I have no problem with snow. I don't want to be freezing my arse off, but um, Jay, I totally support that plan. I'm not eligible for it. We're not poor, right? But I support that kind of stuff because, well, because I used to live in a very poor neighborhood, and dental is expensive. If you don't have insurance, dental is crazy expensive because it's not covered by the Medicare system, and it was explicitly left out when Medicare was brought in. Um, but yeah, I even though I can't benefit from it, I'm fine paying into it. I support it. Yeah, I think this is an interesting question because I hadn't even because Serge has a really nice house out there. It never even occurred to me that you guys would want to build a cabin because you guys are rural, right? Charles, yes, or purchase with something we can live in while we build. Well, Sean in Alaska had a trailer, you know. Yes, as Russell says, that's the best bet. If you don't have a lot of money, buy an acre or a half plot next to crown land. 2 weeks of the year, avoid for obvious reasons, by which I mean hunting. Rest of the year, you have an amazing backyard. Yeah. Pine Martin used to have, or might still have, like a little half acre that borders on crown land. And he says exactly that. It's perfect. So says need to finish some projects closer to home before building something else elsewhere. Yeah. So there's this little bunkie company, and ads keep showing up on one of my socials. You know, it's one of those where it's not a full on log cabin. They're actually just flat boards that you can sort of together. And there is there's an attractiveness there to me in terms of just ease of getting something built now. Because you know, I'm 52, right? I'm hella aware that there are fewer days ahead for me than there were behind. You know, and like I don't have the time, or frankly, with arthritis in both my wrists and one of my elbows and a knee, I have to acknowledge the fact that I may not actually be able to build my dream log cabin. I may not have the physical strength to do it. You know, so I have been thinking about like, okay, what if I just buy like a little prefab tiny house or like one of these bunkie things, you know? It's not what I want really, but it would be an easy way to build the shell that I would then insulate and put electric into, you know, to a panel and a wind thing. It's not my preferred way of getting a cabin, but look, right now it's the whole cabin thing is a pipe dream anyway. But going back to Russell's question from before, man, I've drawn floor plans for so many cabins over the years. Like this is a long-standing thing for me. Oh, Jim's got a burn ban on. Really? I didn't know that they don't have a burn ban on right now. Yeah, that's a good point. Remember to insulate the cabin floor before you build your cabin on top of it. And that's exactly the kind of thing that I would forget to do. Completely. Russell says, I can't help you. I have no idea on advice for finishing projects. Eligible for households who make under 90K. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. My household definitely comes in above that to a bit above that. But yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I don't want to go too hard into it, but it's the kind of thing that, it's always nice when Ottawa does something that doesn't suck completely. Because there are two philosophies around the dental plan, but I will leave it at that. It is always nice to see when Ottawa does something that does not completely suck. Did Russell get a deer tag? That is an interesting question. I did. I don't even bother going for tags anymore. I have nowhere to hunt. Sorry, I'm just making sure that that wasn't like an emergency message or something. I mean, an antlerless tag? Nope, just a buck. Yeah, you guys have the same lottery system as we do for the antlerless, right? The lottery that I entered every year for 15 years and never once won. Yeah, that's true, Russell. It is still fun to plan. Like if I was any good with SketchUp, I would have like a full 3D mock-up of something going on. I would also have one of my garage the way I would like to redo it. For sure. What is life without dreams? Absolutely true. Beto's here. How's it going, Beto? How are things down in Brazil? Wow. Nice. So they were out on the other property doing a little moose hunting. Thought a moose was replying to our calls. Turned out to be two trees rubbing up against each other. That's not funny. Poor guys. I've only ever gotten one moose tag, and it was a non-successful hunt completely. So moose is so delicious, though. So good. So good. Russell says, David missed the boat this year. Russell says, Serge, tell you what, when you're sitting out in the forest during deer hunting season, everything sounds like a deer, squirrel, leaves rustling, etc. I remember, did I tell you guys about this time? I was getting out of my cache, my hide, blind, whatever. About to go back to the hunt camp for lunch. And I got to the bottom of the ladder. And I'm standing there and I have my boomstick sort of held like this, like not like this, but like this. I just stood there for a minute to sort of breathe in the fall air, and I heard this crack, and I sort of looked without moving I sort of looked, and there were two females. Okay, so I wasn't gonna, but two females walking and one of them was walking directly at me, and I did not move. So I guess she didn't. I think they sort of, if you move, they see you, but if you don't move at all, you're okay. And man, she just kept on coming until she was about as far away from me. Okay, if I go to like this, so it's 5 feet between me and my wall, and she was that close, and then she just sort of angled and kept on walking right past me, and then caught my scent, and sort of did that stomp thing, and would they high step it while they're trying to figure out what's going on, and kept on going. But I was not expecting that. I did not think that would ever happen. And it was just like this huge moment for me. I did not move. I just watched her with my eyes. could have reached out and patted her on the rump as she was going by. Could you imagine? She has no idea you're there. You go, pat, pat. Just watch her jump right out of her skin. Watch the soul leave her body. Still looking for a place to hunt. Yeah. Russell says, I thought just your property you can put down corn and salt licks. I think he's too close to neighbors. I mean, unless the rules are very different in Ontario than they are in Quebec, I think he's too close to neighbors. So good. David would like to buy about 40 acres. I also would like to buy about that. Or 280. About 280 acres. Be nice. Could be alone. Be all alone. The way I like. Russell's asking, would the neighbors care if a bit after the event you dropped off some prime venison? You can never tell with neighbors, though, eh? I just envy you guys who have an actual budget that you're looking with. I'm looking to spend about whatever. Like, whoa, I can't spend anything. Russell's asking David what his budget is. David says maybe about 100K, but probably won't buy much. Buying land without anything on it is a whole lot more expensive than it used to be. It seems in every province I have looked at over the past 10 years. And I'm not doing this religiously, right? Because I'm not doing it with intent. I think when I'm in the position to actually have intent, I will be looking a lot more, Ontario, Quebec. But like the part of Ontario near Quebec, I don't want to have to drive 8 hours to get to my, my pied a terre. Russell says, tell me how your perfect cabin is laid out and how it overlooks an awesome brook trout filled with stream. Okay, so it's changed a lot. Like my mind changes a lot to the point where if I suddenly had money to do this, I would have massive decision paralysis. But I just want to show this before I go back to that. Have you watched Wild Homestead YouTube channel? No. But I'm taking note of it right now. Wild Homestead? Oops, I totally blew the spelling of that. I'm just going to enter it into my Wild Homestead Canada. Oh, so it's a Canadian channel? Okay. Couple buys 62-acre wilderness island on a lake and builds a homestead. No, that's my wild home. Wild Homestead, okay. I left the big city to build an off-grid homestead on 40 acres of wilderness in Canada. All right, I'm clicking on that. Oh yeah, I've seen an episode at least. Yeah, I've seen an episode here. Well, you're saying it's a good channel? I'll give it another watch. Jim, I had a coyote come very close to me. I jumped up and yelled with a bear roar, and it nearly fell over trying to scram. Yeah. So okay. So back to Russell's question. Okay. So if I was looking for a little paper, here's paper. Except that's the bill for my microwave. Hold on. So I think I would want something. This is today. Okay. I have planned, quote unquote, everything from a very Sean James-esque, sleeping loft. Because of the heat. Wait, is Serge out? Oh yeah. Serge says I'm gonna get going. He has to get up early. So all right, good night, Serge. Everyone say good night to Serge. David said that Wild Homestead had over 100,000 subs in less than a year. Yeah, right now they're at 133. Raspberry Rock is very sarcastically saying, "Oh shite, hold on." He's very sarcastically saying that he loves it when I draw my cabin on paper. I think what I would want right now would be, and it's on an envelope too, so you're gonna go crazy. Like maybe something kind of like that. With this here being like a porch, a small deck with like a door here, okay? Covered deck. Like I would have a roof come down to cover the entire square. And inside I would have, I'm trying to figure out which way is the front of the house. I've only sort of very nebulously thought this through, but like one side of this L shape would be where you've got your bathroom and like mudroom, I guess. So I guess I'd have the door here. Mudroom, bathroom, and then here is like living area. Okay. I would want many large windows because I think the more light you have coming in, the less you're using electrics and stuff like that. But like I'm seeing this as like a one floor kind of deal, right? And it's my cabin, so I would have like the bed here kind of thing. That's the scale is not working out here. The scale just isn't working. Because to me, the genesis of the cabin build for me was always Dick Proennke's, right? His was the first cabin build I was ever aware of, right? It's a very simple cabin, bunch of wood logs, very simple. I think there's like 2 windows in the whole thing. But then I started to see, like, Russell it's not a log cabin. It's a board and batten kind of stick frame. And that opens up a lot of possibilities that a log cabin doesn't, kind of thing. And most of my cabin concepts are a very simple square log built thing with a loft for sleeping in, right? Kind of this kind of roof. But look, if it's around here, then I kind of want that roof to be really high with venting front and back, a lot of windows, so that I could open the windows and have like a convection thing happen the way traditional houses in Florida and Georgia used to be way before air conditioning became a thing. Um, Where is that? Too small of a deck. Yeah, well, I'm getting the proportions all messed up here. Like my L is too. Like, hold on. So I guess because this is, and as I said, this is only one of the. Okay. Because you're right, the deck needs to be bigger. So that would be a door. That would be the mudroom. This would be a bathroom. So I would probably want the wood burning stove to be in this corner. Like a French door or something here. Window here. Windows here. I would want the kitchen probably to be on, obviously not going all the way up to that door, but like here, right? Some kind of like refrigeration thing. And here's the problem with this design. Like, I haven't really figured out, where's the bed gonna go? Like, do I have to work a loft into this design anyway? I should really think this out more and then do a better sketch for next year, for next week or something. Wraparound deck, wraparound dick. Yeah. Sorry about that. It's hard to, you know. I need a whiteboard right behind me. You know, so that I can be like, well, this is how I would do it. Do I really want like a whiteboard as part of the permanent backdrop of the channel though? No. So I need something maybe about yay big that I can just sort of lift up. Livestream whiteboard, yes. Yeah, okay, I gotta get a whiteboard. It's gotta happen. Yeah, the wood stove, should it be in the, does it need to be like in the opposite corner to the main door? Probably not, right? Do I even really need a mudroom? Right? Hey, just a slightly larger bathroom. It's a shed to house. There's nothing wrong with sticking to modern building techniques, proper framing, proper insulation, board and batten to look nice. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just my dream cabin has always been log, right? Yeah, I'm sure you love that new wood stove. That it's a very sweet. I've seen the picture that you sent me. Beautiful. Absolutely. Take it from me, bed on the main floor. Yeah, I don't want to be climbing up there, especially because, you know, if I wake up at 5:15 and I have to go pissing, it's like, oh, I have to go piss. I don't want to run the risk of falling down the stairs in the dark of, in the black of night. Well, I could get a bigger envelope, or I could just get the whiteboard, right? As Russell says, a stream whiteboard. Russell says, here are the dilemmas. Solar panel on the south face, wood stove on the north face, cabin main view facing north. Actually, but that sounds doable to me. That doesn't sound like a dilemma. That sounds very doable. Yeah, David also agrees with the bed on the main floor. Yeah, me too. It's, you know, I'm too old to deal with a loft, I think. Jim sent his favorite cabin plan to the Court of Dis, pics of cabins. Ooh, we're coming down the home stretch here. I'll see if I can find it. Oh, I had closed down Discord. What the hell, Jess? Oh, no, it's verifying. Downloading update 1 of 1. Why does Discord have so many updates? I just want to see the picture. So where did it go? Oh, it's still verifying. Downloading update 3 of 6. Great. Oh, Discord, you suck my butt. Okay. Books Fest chatter. Nope. General. Oh, pics of cabins. Pics of cabins. Hold on. Let me open this in a browser. And then let me hopefully share. Share. Screen, slides, or video. Before you share screen, whatever. I'm just trying to find tab. Trying to find the tab. I have a lot of tabs open, people. I shift you not. Oh my snap. Hold on. Let me try this again. Let me try this again. Because I want to open in browser. Okay, but which browser am I using for the live stream? Brave. Okay. So let me right click on the browser button. No? You're not going to work with me? All right, you great big jerk. Well, let's just do this, shall we? I say bam. I say bam. Yes, I'm currently sharing my screen. Okay. So. Yes, it's fine. Can I get that bigger? No, I cannot. So that's actually a really nice design. I just wish it was bigger. Like a lot bigger. So it looks. So there's your fireplace. Okay, so it's not on an outdoor wall. It's actually surrounded by a house. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite nice. I'll leave that there for a second. Yes, Russell is asking what I'm also asking. Do you have a larger version? In a book, in the other house, an hour and a half away. Crumbs. Drive fast. Yeah, I'd like to see a closer version of that for sure. What book is that from? End my screen shares. Just let me take a look at something here. Because, like, I've looked at a lot of log cabins in, like, books kind of like, kind of like this. This one doesn't really have that kind of, like, cabin plan, I don't think. But if I can find shelters, shacks, and shanties, there's a lot of cool things in this book. Just let me take a look. Like, it goes for everything from, this all the way up to, like, some actual, some cabins. Like a lot of, this is a Boy Scout, shelter kind of thing, but I seem to remember that it went into some actual cabins, like log cabins and stuff. Here's a basic one. I'm pretty sure anyone who's marched a really long The nature trail has probably seen a couple of those, eh? Like, look at that place. Right? Living room, kitchen, second floor for the bedroom, I guess. It's a great book for dreaming with. Dreaming from, dreaming due to. I don't know what I'm saying. Jim says I would turn the roof running 4.5 so you could do a loft over the porch. I could see a loft over. Yeah, that's kind of like what Sean James had. Kind of. David's asking how many square feet that design is. About 14 by 28. Raspberry Rock took a closer look, and it is 14 by 28. Sounds like a reasonable size, actually. So it sounds like it's, that's very doable. Very doable. That looks more like a stone cabin than a log cabin. Who cares? It's a really nice design. I like it. Yeah, I really do like it. I don't think I could build that solo, though. No matter what. Maybe that's what we should do. Our next, cabin viewing from 10 to 11 should be like floor plan viewing. Get the whole bunch of you dreaming in Technicolor. Okay, it's 11 o'clock, and I gotta be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at work in the morning, the day job. So, I'm going to shut her down. Thanks for hanging with me. I will try to remember to shut this stuff off for next week, although it was very useful for me. So between now and next week, everybody, please. Oh, stop yawning, Jess. Jesus Christ. Everybody, please be safe, be sane, be well, and be kind to one another. Good night, guys.